I don't agree with him at all. I don't think he's fair-minded. He's not even in his, you know what I mean, in his opinions anymore. But neither do I think that liberal left, these broadcasters way on the left are fair either. I believe that there's a new Patriot broadcast that's more fair and more center road, central than the extremes to the left or to the right. What do you think, Richard?
Well, it's clear that characters like Rush Limbaugh, Sean Hannity, and others are clearly put there to keep the populace in the fake, phony political paradigm. They want this left-right battle that you and I have pierced that veil, and along with millions of other Americans, we see that the powers that be control both the left and the right and use them as so-called polar opposites to try to shimmy and shake their way into this New World Order. So Rush Limbaugh, I tell you, I used to listen to him in the early 90s, and I think somewhere around 1994 or whatever, I caught on to his shtick. Basically, I mean, look, here's a guy with millions of listeners, and to what political effect, other than somnambulism and the hypnotizing of an audience, other than that, other than hypnotizing an audience to basic inaction, what has he done? What political effect have they had? It's just almost zero, other than just accomplishing apathy and non-activity, non-action. So to that goal, he's accomplished that. But in regards to Bill Clinton calling for a fairness doctrine, this just further just demonstrates the evilness of this character. I mean, here he is, a Rhodes Scholar, highly educated, and at one point got his way into, through hook and crook, got his way to the presidency of the United States. And here he is, totally wanting to destroy the First Amendment, and that's exactly what the fairness doctrine is all about, is the destruction of the First Amendment. It's just incredible the audacity that he has.
We're the only people out here, and Ron Paul led the charge in Congress years ago. We're the only people out here that are advocating and lobbying for a fundamental financial change, and that revolves around in major reform of the Federal Reserve System. We have many Hispanic organizations in Texas now that have their chambers of commerces and so forth. We want them to join in with us in lobbying for real financial reform. We want them to lobby Barack Obama, the new president, to substantiate his claims on really caring about this country to make really major financial reforms. And I think it must begin with the Fed. But right now, he has placed into the administration in very powerful positions those former presidents of the Federal Reserve banks, especially the one in New York. So we don't see any major change from Barack Obama in any financial reform that might benefit the country. We see him being controlled by those very financial power bases that all presidents have been controlled by. And it's not just Barack Obama. Clinton and also George W. Bush, and the old man Bush, they were all controlled by these financial power bases. So they're not going to. Hey, we've got a lady here. We want her to join us and on the air. And we're going to pull up another chair here. Her name is Peggy Vasquez, and we've got about 5 or 10 minutes left, and we want to conduct a quick interview with her. And she's coming on camera in just a second. And, yeah, Peggy, yeah, we're going to get her set up here with some headphones and talk with her. She represents a faction of the Austin community, and it's not only the Hispanic. She grew up here. And Peggy, tell us about your background and your experiences and some of the programs that you've participated in over the years.
Good morning, George. I'm running a tab late. Sunday mornings are not a good morning for me. I'm originally from Austin, and I grew up within the Hispanic community, but I have reached out to various segments of the community, in fact, all of Austin. Currently, George, I have a program called Hispanic Today. I'd like to say it's about the face of an Hispanic today, what Hispanics are up to, be it in the political arena, issues, the arts, just anything that people are up to today. So you just want to just let me know, let them know what I'm about, huh?
Yeah.
Great, great. I'm really fortunate to be here with my friend George. He's always into something new and different, as I can see here today on the internet. So I want to compliment George for venturing out into the internet and making it known to the people what he's about and what Austin's about.
We intend, Peggy has a program, I think it's on Wednesday, and we're going to go down there to the Access program, and we're going to get it out on the internet. And we're broadcasting live now from Fonda del Sol, 1912 E7. But who do you have as guest this? Do you have it set up for Wednesday, Peggy?
Yes, George is very gracious to come down and put the show on the internet, which is something I've really been looking forward to. This week we're having the National Association of Hispanic Real Estate Professionals. This is an organization that's dedicated to making sure there's home ownership for the minority group. They have the facilities to speak it in Spanish, and they have the know-how and the expertise of how things work in order to purchase a home. So they'll be my guests, Victor Montalvo and Ron Urias. Victor Montalvo is the past president. He's worked very diligently to build up the organization, and Ron Urias is the current president. Also, I'll have some guests from El Buen Seminario. They are a group that, again, that's very into the minority population. They have all kinds of bilingual education programs, clinic programs, health programs, and just basically helping the recently emerging immigrants that have come into Austin, and they have a lot of programs that benefit those people. And what they're doing this coming up, I think it's February, well, it's Fat Tuesday, I'm not too sure what the date is. They're having a big Mardi Gras celebration at the Austin Music Hall. So all the proceeds from that fundraiser will be towards the support of the organization and all the programs that they have. And then next week, next week we're having John Michael Cortez with the Capital Metro Community Outreach. And yesterday we were fortunate enough to go out and do some videotaping of the new commuter rail at the Plaza Saltillo. So we're going to have a lot of information about the light rail, the commuter rail, and it's just a beautiful rail. I believe it's cost like about $5,000. It's tapered after the European model, and it's just basically going to take take care of the transportation problems and taking people from their homes to work and into the inner city and into the university area. So it's something I feel that that's very needed in the city, because I think we're behind here in Austin because we just don't have the mass transportation that's needed so diligently. Okay? Great.
Well, Peggy, it's good to see you here this morning. I think we met a couple times there during Mike Hansen's campaign way back a few years ago, I think in 04, 06, in Bakehouse and a couple other places. But it's good to see you, and glad that you came to join us.
Great.
And I'll tell you, it's going to be interesting to see how the light rail does affect the city of Austin. I'm a little bit skeptical. I know that this is going to cost a lot of dollars, but maybe it'll do the job that we're hoping, and maybe it'll take some traffic off the streets. I think this transit-oriented development is an interesting, bold experiment. I've yet to see that they're going to make buildings without parking spots, though, so we'll see what happens with that. But anyway, you never know. Hopefully it'll work out, and we can see a diminishment of traffic to where maybe the ones that do drive can get around. So it'll be interesting to see on that.
Well, one of the things about the commuter rail, we were in one of the cars yesterday, it's transporting 200 people at one time. You know, it can facilitate like about 120 sitting down, about 80 standing up. So you're talking about a commuter rail, a car that will take 200 people at a time. And I think the spots are like, you can get from this point to that point in 5 minutes, or up to Leander in like 15 minutes. So if you think about it, that's something that, would definitely benefit Austin. Of course, the cost variable, but, everything costs. And so if we have to pay a little bit in order to transport people. And it was really amazing, George, because what I could see, there were people there from the community ready to buy a ticket. They were ready to buy a ticket and, transport their family. They had a family, like about 4 or 5, and they were ready to buy a ticket and go up to University area in North Austin or whatever. So I think the community's ready, and they're embracing this commuter rail. And I think it starts up March the 30th is the actual date for the kickoff of getting the commuter rail up and going and on all the rails.
You know what this is an example of right now, don't you? This is reaching across the aisle. Richard and I attended the GOP convention down in Houston last summer. And so we rode around on their commuter rail, and it was working better than I thought. And so it was. Oh, another thing on this bill that was passed Friday, there is an $8,000 tax credit for first-time home buyers.
Okay.
So that's going to help many of your people that you're working with in the Austin community, and hopefully it will reinvigorate somewhat the mortgage market throughout the country. So give us those dates of your show again and who you have on there.
Okay. It'll be this Wednesday. It's TV channel number 16, and that's on Wednesday from 7 to 8. And I'll have Victor Montalvo and Ron Urias. And again, they'll have probably some information on that bill that you're talking about first-time home buyers. And then we're going to have a representative from El Buen Seminario, and they'll be talking about the programs and, of course, their fundraising. One of the things we have also up and coming, it'll be on February the 28th. We're having a mayoral candidates forum there at Community Access at the Channel Austin. That'll be from 2:30 to 4, and we're having Lee Leffenwell and Brewster McCracklin and Carol Strayhorn, and we are going to be asking them some tough questions on, in particular, about what they see the vision for Austin should be, how they expect to get there, and what do they have in mind, especially for the Hispanic community, all of the gentrification that's happening in this part of the town. And so they'll be there to answer questions. We're getting some questions from Paul Saldana from Adelante Solution. He's real involved, and he's a political consultant. He's real involved with the school district and the Austin quality of life. We're having some questions from Jim Harrington, and we're having some questions from Podet. So I'm going to be asking questions and getting questions from different various community organizations.
And you asked some hard questions.
Yes, the other day I asked Lee a question. I said,
Peggy,
no,
you're bad.
no disrespect, Lee Nisi. I know you're going to ask me anyway. No, well, I just feel that, you know, I am a nice person.
Yes, you are.
I'm very nice, very sweet, but there are issues that are out there, and if you can't pinpoint the people that are going to be making the policies and decisions for our community, and ask them those questions and put them on the line, and then put it on air, be it the television, be it the internet, and hold them accountable to what they're saying and what they were going to do, because they are our public servants. You know, we don't want any politicians there. We want public servants. We want people that are out there to represent the community. So we're going to hold them to that.
We're going to be setting up some music here, and then we're going to end. When you see the blue screen come up with our final close-off screen, you'll know that we'll be off the air in about 2 minutes or less than that. But Richard's going to dial up some more music, and then we're going to have a musical interlude on our way out of here. So, Richard, what do you have there? You got something going. There we go.